it. Then the New York Times wrote an article about it saying Elon Musk in a tweet shares link from site known to publish false news. Some of the news that site had published stated that Hillary Clinton actually died on 9/11. By the way, the website that Elon Musk posted under Hillary Clinton's Twitter is a website that was a Hillary Clinton truther that claims that Hillary Clinton has there's a replacement Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton had died on 9/11. At the 9/11 memorial. Remember? When she was like sick or had like a seizure or some shit? Anyway. So, which by the way, I do want to believe I do want to believe that. It's pretty funny. So, Elon Musk goes, "This is fake. I did not tweet a link to the New York Times." Okay? Epically owned. Okay? Epically owned. 634,000 likes. New York Times is epically owned, okay? He is so funny, so much goofs, so many gaffes, okay? Epic memes are on fire, okay? If you want to hear fucking rehashed 9gag memes, unironically, Elon Musk is your go-to one-stop shop. So glad that he paid $44 billion so he could do this epic ownage. I don't know what else to say other than, like, this tweet itself is pretty funny. Remembering this handy chart today. Ted Cruz is funny but doesn't want to be funny. Elon Musk wants to be funny and is not funny. Elon Musk can't be funny because he wants to be so bad. He wants to be perceived as funny so desperately, so he is physically incapable of being funny. So you're so ableist, Sweaty. He's literally autistic. He can't help but be cringe. Dude, I know so many funny-ass autistic posters, dude. First of all, we're on Twitter, okay? Like, half the fucking posters have a litany of mental illnesses, a charcuterie plate of mentally ill people or different mental illnesses, okay? Elon Musk is not one of those people. But the problem is he can't even be like, he can't even be funny through observation. Like, we can't even observe him being funny because he's trying, like, he's hit the pocket. Basically, the fucking sweet spot, right? Where he is trying so hard to be perceived as funny that it's impossible for him to be funny. Do you understand? Like, if he wasn't trying so hard to be funny, there could be moments where we, like, laugh at him instead of with him, right? But because he's so incredibly desperate to be perceived as funny, that there is never a moment where he actually is funny enough to even laugh at. Okay? Anyway, maybe if he was humping stools, but he can't even do that. Okay, so Elon's defenders are like, Elon is a genius and that's why he's wealthy. And also, Elon has a bad brain and you shouldn't make fun of him for not being funny. Yeah. Ben Shapiro's tweets. Let's look at...
are also fighting mad over Elon Musk. And so they are using this latest incident with Paul Pelosi as evidence that Elon Musk is an irresponsible and terrible person. So Elon Musk tweeted out a story suggesting strange details with regard to the Paul Pelosi attack. The Washington Post says Elon Musk and a wide range of right-wing personalities cobbled together misreporting, innuendo, and outright falsehoods to amplify misinformation about last week's violent assault on Paul Pelosi to their millions of online followers. A forum devoted to former White House advisor Stephen K. Bannon's right-wing radio show alerted its 78,000 subscribers to, quote, very strange new details on Paul Pelosi attack. Roger Stone, longtime political consigliere to former President Donald Trump, took to the fast-growing messaging app Telegram to call the assault an alleged attack, telling his followers a stench surrounding mainstream reporting about the Friday break-in that left Pelosi hospitalized with a skull fracture and other serious injuries existed. The skepticism didn't stay in the right-wing echo chamber. He wrote on Sunday morning, quote, there is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye. You
best believe this was a Republican, they would immediately blame it on a leftist pipeline. Bro, Ben Shapiro multiple times has like talked about Barack Obama and his anti-cop rhetoric as like not the real reason, but like kind of the reason. If he wanted to say it, he would say it as to why like those fucking cops got murked in Dallas. Okay? Like, he always holds that, like, Barack Obama, who said that Black Lives Matter protesters in Ferguson were out of pocket and they were thugs. That president, okay, Barack Obama, was actually so anti-cop that he was telling, Black Lives Matter people to go out and shoot cops in Ben Shapiro's world. Nuts.
He pointed his 112 million followers to a sensationalist account of the episode, published by a site known for spreading right-wing misinformation, before deleting the tweet several hours later. The rush to sow doubt about the assault on Pelosi's husband illustrates how aggressively influential figures on the right are seeking to dissuade the public from believing facts about the violence, seizing on the event to promote conspiracy theories and provoke distrust. Okay, so it is worth noting here that people should not be promoting stories that do not have proper backing to them. Obviously. That's why I opened the show by discussing all of the questions that people seem to have about the Paul Pelosi attack and talking about...
One of the funniest things is, like, Ben Shapiro routinely comes across as, like, more reasonable than all these other fucking psychos because he knows how to operate the space well. He knows where to push and where to pull. So he'll routinely fucking concede when things go way too out of pocket. Now, he already has a bunch of other dogs that work under him to do the psychotic conspiracy shit, Matt Walsh being one of them. The fucking other dude that I debated that I can't remember the name of now. What is it? Michael, the fucking Italian one. Shit. Michael Knowles. Thank you. And then Clandis Owens, obviously. Like, those are his mouthpieces that will push for more radical perspectives. But he can always stand comfortably afar at an arm's length to say, hey, I can tell you when things go too far.
About what the police has said. And it seems to me that the police account is significantly more evidenced at this point than many of the theories about the attack on Paul Pelosi. We talked about the fact that people were worrying about the glass breaking outward. When you throw a hammer against plexiglass, it will tend to break outward, not inward in many cases. There are people who were suggesting there's a third person. How did a third person get there? Why were they admitting somebody? Where was this person trying to stop it? There was no third person. It was misreporting by CBS.
By the way, Ben Shapiro is, like, actually currently addressing the fake news that's being promoted. Remember, but also, that's Ben Shapiro's crony. Is Ben Shapiro's crony Matt Walsh going to be addressed here? No. He'll debunk the fucking obvious inaccuracies in the reporting. Did you address the 911 call? Wait, what? Address what? That he was, like, speaking in code because, like, he knew that there was someone in his house and he kept the fucking and he kept the phone going. What?
CBS News. There was the 911 phone call and the dispatch operator telling the police what was happening and said that Paul Pelosi had said there's a guy here named David and he's a friend. And so people were interpreting that as, oh, he's a friend. Okay.
No. He was literally speaking in code to make it seem as though he wasn't fucking, to survive, which worked, by the way. And cops literally said that. Cops said that, thank God, Mr. Pelosi was speaking in fucking code, and thank God the dispatcher immediately understood what was going on and actually sent a unit there.
Okay. Or it's possible and theoretically, believable that Paul Pelosi had a crazy person in front of him and was trying to calm the guy down while simultaneously on the phone with 911, not letting the crazy guy know that he was on the phone with 911. Okay, fine. All of that to the good. The reason, but this is being used now as an excuse for Elon Musk is obviously very bad because he tweeted out unverified information about the Paul Pelosi attack. So a couple things ought to be said about all of this. One, the truth became fairly quickly evident and Musk deleted his tweet, which suggests that the solution was not to ban the tweet in the first place. The solution was to allow people to critique the tweet because then Musk removed the tweet. So people on the left are using this as an example of we must ban information. We must make sure that there is no counter narrative that gets out there. But the thing is this. Once
Okay. Functionally, what Elon Musk did was basically the same as, like, banning the tweet. The difference, of course, is that he did it willingly, okay? He deleted the tweet willingly. Banning is done for people who are not doing it. even after they've been corrected. People who personally, deliberately and willingly spread misinformation. Not only that, but also like Twitter literally gives you the opportunity to delete the fucking tweet. It's so dumb. That's what you do with people who won't fucking functionally delete the tweet themselves. You force them. What the fuck? That's the purpose behind banning. By the way, Elon literally did that because he wanted to, not get so fucking incredibly owned. That's why he did that. He self-canceled, I guess.
Information that was bad was put out there. It was hit so hard that Musk took it down, which is theoretically the way that free speech is supposed to work. You say something dumb, everybody critiques you, and then you retract the dumb thing that you said. What the left would like to do is essentially pre-clear all speech. So you shouldn't ask the questions in the first place. Now, when you do that, you know what you end up with? You end up with people asking more questions. When you say, you're not allowed to post this story, because if you post this story, we'll shut down your account. What people tend to do is they tend to believe, well, then I'm not going to believe you because you're attempting to censor. You're attempting to prevent information from being disseminated. The best answer to bad and dumb speech is, in fact, when it comes to fora like Twitter, more speech. But this is not the left's take. The left's take is that they should be essentially policing what you can and cannot.
He's literally admitting that the ultimate good thing is to delete the tweet. You can't say that. Why didn't he keep up the tweet then? It's just speech. Why didn't he just keep the tweet up? Like, obviously, enough people addressed it, so he's just eliminating speech. He shouldn't have done that then. Addressed already.
Not say. And here's the problem. All the people who maybe correctly were saying that Elon Musk was putting out a bad story yesterday, all of those same people were perfectly fine with the media for years putting out bad information about COVID, putting out false information about a wide variety of topics. Totally fine with all that stuff.
What?
All of that propagandistic nonsense, that could go out there. But Elon Musk puts out a tweet about a link that he shouldn't have put out. And this is evidence that free speech is no longer operative. So, for example, you have an MSNBC guest named Suzanne Nossel who's raising alarm about free speech on Twitter because if we allow people to say things, then you never know. Free speech might be quashed by people saying things.
To a social media platform that, as Elon says, is trying to create an environment for public discourse, a place where people of different ideological persuasions can come together and can reason. In order to do that, you need to create some parameters. We've learned that. Speech in Twitter is...
Yeah, no, that's true. Here you have a person who was like correctly talking about how in order to foster speech, you need to sometimes set boundaries. Here, I'll use a really dumb example, okay? For example, let's say you're at an auditorium, Ben Shapiro. Let's say you're addressing the Young American Foundation. And people come in and take advantage of the logistics of the situation and steal the microphone from you and start yelling into the microphone, right? Or they yell fire in the crowded theater. There needs to be parameters established, and luckily there are parameters established, because then you can actually foster good conversation. So technically, what she is saying is completely correct. If you set boundaries, how is it still free speech? Brother, there is no such thing as speech without any boundaries. You still can't do that in the United States of America, which has the most expansive freedoms. You can't do that.
Is not the same as a town square. It's algorithmically driven. We've seen that falsehoods travel faster than the truth on Twitter, that polarization can be stoked that it's a weaponization of human nature. And that can be for good or for ill. We can celebrate something, and we can go down a very dark path if that's where our nature draws us to. The algorithms fuel and supercharge that. And so I don't think the answer is a First Amendment approach, trying to adopt the constraints on government to a private platform like Twitter.
It's weaponizing human nature to allow people to say the things that they want to say. It is not weaponizing human nature to give outsized power to a coterie of left-wing elites who will tell you what you can say. That, of course, we can trust them. We can trust them because they definitely will not quash information that is not to their political liking. They'll probably just promote true narratives, like the narrative they've been promoting nonstop for days now, that every Republican is responsible for a nut job hitting Paul Pelosi with a hammer. That's it. Clearly, that's the stuff that we need to disseminate, obviously. Because otherwise, if we don't prevent the dissemination of bad information, how are we going to get our narrative out there? This is the shtick with regard to Elon Musk and the left. It's why they're angry about Elon Musk opening up the spigots on speech, because they don't like a lot of the information that's being distributed. And again, what they're going to do now is they're going to nitpick. They're going to find the worst.
But you literally just said you didn't like the information that Elon Musk was promoting. I mean, he openly admitted it. That makes no sense. Not only did you say that it was good that Elon deleted the tweet because he was corrected, but you also stated that it was bad and wrong, and that wrong information should be corrected by other people and then deleted.
Examples of people distributing information that's not true on one side of the aisle, and then they're going to pretend that everything they see is sweetness and light, and all of the information they disseminate is absolutely true. By the way, they're also going to promote the narrative that they can call Elon Musk a unique threat to democracy. Elon Musk is an evil, retrograde robber baron. They can say whatever they want about him, and that's totally fine. But if you say Nancy Pelosi should not be Speaker of the House, somebody might go hit her husband with a hammer in his house. That's the way this works. You can say whatever you want about people on the right. You can suggest, as the president has.
It's crazy that he addressed some of the misinformation going around. But for some weird reason is stopping himself from mentioning why people are saying he's a right-wing guy. Like, I don't think people are saying, or some people are. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying that, like, that dude isn't fucking crazy. But I'm certainly stating that right-wing conspiracies, unchecked right-wing conspiracies, is what led to the mental decline of this person, who then acted out on those desires. Okay? Someone radicalized that motherfucker. That someone was Ben Shapiro and Fox News and the internet. That's it. Many people get radicalized on the internet. Some get radicalized towards the top of the hour ad break, which comes at the top of every hour. Okay? And then you realize that the way to combat towards that, the way to combat against that top of the hour ad break is by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub too if you're lucky. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
That those people are going to overthrow the country. And that's totally good. In fact, it's praiseworthy that the president of the United States says that stuff. But if you say that Nancy Pelosi is doing a bad job as Speaker, man, you never know what that might set off. And we need to curb speech to prevent messages that we don't like from getting out. Well, there's sort of a fascinating exchange on Twitter between CEO Elon Musk and the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, about racial.
I love the notion that, like, we're just sitting around and acting like this guy wanted to murder Nancy Pelosi because people were saying she's unfit to be the Speaker of the House. And not because, like, he thought she was drinking baby blood because of a Jewish conspiracy. Yeah. The perp literally was like, I can't wait to kill Nancy Pelosi because she's doing a bad job. And not because of the baby blood stuff that I definitely believe in as evidenced by my blog.
Racial slurs on the platform. So LeBron, who has in the past spread anti-Semitic nonsense of his own before retracting it, he was responding to a report in the Washington Post that claimed there had been a 500% increase in the use of the N-word on Twitter following Musk taking over. Several of the posts on 4chan encourage users to amplify derogatory slurs, the report said, suggesting the increase in the use of slurs may not have been completely organic, which the Post did not mention. That's what the study said. The Post did not say that. The Post instead suggested that there were just a ton of people who had suddenly randomly started saying the N-word. James tweeted, I don't know Elon Musk, and to be honest,
so LeBron James is pulling an article from yahoo.com. And the article's title quite literally says, use of N-word on Twitter jumped by almost 500% after Elon Musk takeover as trolls test limits on free speech, report says. So, like, the article title itself, of the tweet that LeBron James is posting directly contradicts what Ben Shapiro is stating. So I don't know why Ben is like acting like LeBron James is like spreading misinformation or something.
I could care less about who owns Twitter, but I will say if this is true, I hope he and his people take this very, very seriously because this is scary AF. So many damn unfit people saying hate speech is free speech. Well, I mean, technically speaking, hate speech is indeed a form of free speech because, again, things I don't like don't necessarily fall into the category of hate. And even if we all agree that they are hateful, that does not mean that they are prosecutable or that they don't fall under the category of free speech.
There you have it. There you have it. The classic defending hate speech and the double classic legality trumps morality in this conversation about changing legality. When someone says, hey man, hate speech should not be protected by free speech, you can't turn around and go, oh, well, technically hate speech is free speech and it's protected. Bitch, we know. The whole point of the conversation is not having that happen anymore. You can't just like literally say, well, it's currently the way it is. You need to back it up. Also, hate speech isn't just things I don't like. Okay? I don't like eating seafood. When someone says everyone should have seafood, or when the 700th person says, you've never had seafood? Oh, it's because you haven't had this kind of seafood. I don't like that. That speech I don't like. You know what that isn't? Hate speech, motherfucker. That's not hate speech. Shut the fuck up.
Speech, right? There are certain areas that don't fall under the defamation does not fall under free speech. Pornography does not fall under free speech.
Why not?
The problem with hate speech is that
why not? Why not? It's arbitrary. If it did, would Ben Shapiro defend it? Probably. It almost feels like a lot of this is just shit we just made up. Because ultimately, that's what laws are. We get together in a perfect society and decide certain things. That's rules. That's laws. And they're subject to interpretation and they're subject to change. So in a conversation about like why certain rules should change, you can't turn around and go, but that's the rule. Rules are rules. Because the argument I'm making does not revolve around what the rules are. I'm very aware of what the rules are. I want to change them. Okay. Now I unironically think we should ban motherfuckers still talking about seafood in the chat. Remember, there is no free speech in this chat. I will clap your ass cheeks.
Vaguely defined term that can be twisted and turned and used any way by whoever cites the thing. By the way, if we were banning people for hate speech, then back when LeBron James was talking about the Jewish money, he would have been banned from social media. Musk responded to James's tweet with a statement from Yoel Roth, Twitter's head of safety and integrity, that said, nearly all of these accounts are inauthentic. We've taken action to ban the users involved in this trolling campaign. We're going to continue working to address this in the days to come to make Twitter safe and welcoming for everyone. But again, the media are going to amplify all of this because they are so all-fired afraid that there might be a platform that they don't control the spigot of information to. They are terrified of all of that. It scares the living hell out of them. All right, guys.
Yeah, LeBron James is like terrified of the spigot of information control. That's what he's operating off of. And isn't just like a black dude living in America who sees trolls pumping up white supremacy and is making a plea from his larger platform to hope that like white supremacy doesn't run rampant on the fucking website that he uses from time to time. So he's like, oh man, I really want the freedom of expression to be controlled by liberal elites. LeBron James. Oh my Lord.
The rest of the show is continuing right now. We'll be getting into Elon Musk and his continuing Twitter takeover, the media attacks on Twitter, plus Democrats trying to shift their angle of attack on the midterms away from democracy and away from January 6th and more toward the economy. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're not a member, click the link.